Hey, welcome back. I'm going to do top-down characters today. So let's get started with that. I'm going to start from the third-person character. So this is third-person over shoulder that we did. And so you can imagine a top-down character is mostly the same if we're just going for straight up this kind of combat here. However, we are going to need a mouse and we're going to want to rotate our character in certain ways. So let's just look at a couple of ways and a couple of things we can do with that. I'm going to make a new folder called top down. Make a new game mode. Going to pop that in here. Going to create I think I'm just going to create a straight copy of our original third person character, pop it in here. Just call this character top down. So go check out that video if you want to get started on that. And then this game mode will use that character. So it'll be top down. So this is all here. So file, save current level as top down new folder levels. So it's level top down. Okay, so now we hit play. We don't have any controls because we don't have the right player controller, so we'll put the core in there. Cool. We don't have an animation on this guy apparently, so we'll just double check why that is. Top down character. Got an animation blueprint, I think I know why. So this Leon animation blueprint casts to a certain type of character. Yet that's not actually necessary anymore. So what we're going to do is just cast this to character. We'll change the property type for this to just a generic character. This makes it a little bit more reusable. Put that in there like that. Save that. And now when we play, we won't need to cast to the other character. Cool. So the first thing that I want to do for the character is grab the spring arm, bring it to a different angle, which means that we need to stop using pawn control rotations for this. I'm just going to bring it right up and see how that looks. So we're currently rotating with the character, which is a little bit gnarly. So what we need to do is not inherit the yaw. So now we've got this character running around. We are slightly offset because of the previous offsets that we did. So we'll just do that. I think we also need to be a little bit further out. Let's have a look at that. Cool. So that's our first initial push on that. A couple of things I'm feeling with this if I go full screen. I still feel a little bit close for something, I don't know, like a Metal Gear perspective or something like that. So let's go 650. Yeah, this is cool. Is it? I feel like it needs to be more. It could be something to do with the perspective. So let's go 70 on the perspective. Sorry, other way. Let's go 110. Okay, that's cool. Just double check. Okay, so got our basic top-down character. He feels a little bit incorrectly sort of like positioned, so I'm just going to move the camera a bit. Yeah, that's kind of cool. So you could have a game that is based like this, where you don't have a mouse. But let's say you actually want to have the mouse to be able to do something. And we don't actually have the necessary animations in this pack to do anything with 9-direction or multi-directional animation, sadly. So if we were able to look in the top left direction and then move backwards, I think there is actually a walk backwards animation. Well, let's try it. So first things first, we've got our initial top-down character. Let's create a child blueprint class of that and say this one has the mouse. And for now we'll plug that one in. And so on event begin play, I want to get my player controller. This only works in single player. So we'll show mouse cursor to true. Hit play. Okay, so now I've got a mouse. It's not doing anything. So what we want to do on, I think what we want to do is make it so our character doesn't orient to movement anymore. But on tick he does set his control rotation. So we'll get the player controller again. We'll set the control rotation. In fact, I just realized it's a bad idea because I'm not going to be able to override certain things in the base class. So I'm going to actually duplicate this and do this as top-down mouse. Delete this guy. Plug this in, open this up, and now we actually have all the controls. It's the input graph that I care about, like where we look in here. Look controls, they don't do anything anymore. We don't need look controls. We do need to begin play, get player controller, show mouse, set show mouse. So we'll show that. Okay. We also need to do some tick logic. So we'll actually make a function for this, which is look at mouse. So what we can do for this is we can get the player controller, we can get the mouse position, we can project mouse, or project world, project screen to world. And we can also convert screen location to world space. So we'll try this. World location. We'll do a. So we could also get hit under cursor. So what you could do from here is you could use that world location, which is essentially the camera, the direction, which is where you're looking, and then you could cast a line trace, and you could hit the world, and you could use that location for where the character is going to look. There is another option, which is hit under cursor. Get hit result under cursor by channel. We'll just use visibility. And from that hit result, break that out. The issue with this in comparison to the trace is, at least with the trace you could say, and at a certain distance, that is our default look rotation. With this, if you miss and you don't have even an invisible collider for it to hit, you'll get bad results coming out of this location. But this is the returned look at location. So that's cool. We're also not changing anything, so we can go pure const. We'll take that look at mouse, or we'll call this actually what it is, which is get look at location. We'll then get the player controller and set the control rotation, which we actually only care about setting the yaw. So we're actually going to interpret this. I think constant is probably good. So the current is the get control rotations, yaw. So that's where we start. The target is the get look at, or look at rotation, find look at rotation between the get character or get actor rotation and this. So that's our new yaw. Delta time is just delta seconds for the game world. interp speed, we'll do a 5 to begin with, and we'll just stick that straight on the tick. See what happens. So does this character tick at all? We will find out. Does he use yaw in any way? No, he doesn't. So we'll make sure that the actual character itself uses the yaw. Still not getting what we want, so we'll look at control. We will use control desired rotation. So we're still getting nothing there. We do seem to be ticking. Yep. What we can do is watch this value, see what's going on there. So to be this character. It's interesting, it seems to not be ideal. What we can do is draw a debug point at the location of this hit. We'll do size 50. Blue. Okay, 1 second. Yeah, so it is hitting the world. I think that's hitting the world at least. But our character isn't rotating to look at that location, so let's check that he's not orienting to movement. He's still orienting to movement, so that might have been the problem. Let's check all of his rotation settings. So we're using the controller desired rotation. We've got 360 here. We're using the controller rotation yaw. I wonder if that's messing things up. The yaw here is still not what I expect it to be. So what we could do is we could just get direction. Let me just try a few values. So if I put -90 in here, yeah, so he does go to there, and then 90 will go to the right. Cool. So one thing I need to just double check in the inputs is that we're not editing. Yeah, we're not editing the look rotations anymore, the control rotations I should say. So we're good there. Next thing is back in our event graph. Let's get this to work. So we need, I could say -90 at the speed of 1. See how that looks. Okay, at the speed of 50. Okay, so that's cool. Let's actually watch this value. So it did work, it's just that the speed of the interpolation is so low, it needs to be way higher. In fact, it might be the case that this rotation is already doing this, so we can just plug this straight in, we don't actually need this interp. Yeah, because it already has a speed based on that other value. So now we can do this, but we don't actually have a walk backwards, and we don't have a strafe left and right. So what I'm going to do, hopefully, is find some animations that I can do for that. faster movement, zombie movement, high locomotion. The big locomotion pack. Got this one as well. Let's take a look at this big locomotion pack. Looks like it's got a back move here. Unarmed preview cover, M4A1. I mean, it has 315 animations. So I'm going to assume... I mean, there's the unarmed locomotion there, so we'll try that one.
Responding to emails takes time, but not with...
It's got some jumps in here. I can see over there that we have some directional based animations, which is going to help us out with this. So let's go with this one. Have to add it to this project first and then port it over. Okay. Okay, so we've got this big locomotion pack, we've got an unarmed locomotion, and we do have walk and jog. Could make 2 blend spaces. You can see it's like forward, right, walk backwards. Okay, cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the walk and the jog. I'm going to then retarget all these animations. Which I just did wrong because we only needed to open the retarget animator once. Okay, cool. So it's unarmed walk. And unarmed underscore run. Or jog, sorry, it's called. It's actually already got a blend space sorted for us. Let's go find that blend space. Nope. Okay, so we've got walk, run, unarmed walk, run. So how does this want to be configured? Walk, run. It's not directional. Yeah, and this is also just not what we need. So we do need to make our own, that's fine. So first we're just going to take the walk and jog animations. Okay. So if I remember, we did we did bring up, oh, it's gone now. We'll take this, retarget this animation, we got walk. Okay, so it's aim. Unarmed walk. Okay. We have all these starts and stops as well, so we just need to make sure we take the ones we need. So it's just loop. Okay. Forward, back, left, right, and all the diagonals. Awesome. We're going to put this onto D10. Export those. Let's get a new folder, target. New folder in here, Leon. I'm going to replace anim with as_Leon. Okay. So currently, this is how it looks. I walk, but I don't have like a directional walk. It's actually a good setup for a twin stick. So let's go to that folder that we just made with those retargeted animations. We'll just create a blend space in here. Animation. Create a blend space. This is really on D10. as_walk. Sounds good. Should do one for run, although we'll do that after. Okay. So if I open this up, we get two axes. We need forward and left, right. So we'll name those. And these are all wrong, so we'll rename these. Right, forward. We're going to stick unarmed. We didn't take the unarmed idle, so we'll just take the normal idle right here. So we've got the idle, then we've got the walks. Okay, so we have a bunch of setups here for, well, I mean, we've got more grid positions than we actually need. I think we only need 2 and 2. Yeah, so we've got all 8. Okay, so right, left, forward, back, forward, right, forward, left, backward, right, backward, left. And so if I was behind this character and I was saying, let's walk forward, that's good. Let's walk forward and left. Let's just walk left. Let's walk back and left, back, back and right, right, forward and right. Yeah, awesome. So turn off all these bones because it's kind of annoying. Okay. So we have some walking animations. It's very nice. What I like to do as well is add some smoothing time in here. Oops, what did I just do? I just messed that up. You watch me press Ctrl-Z and it crashes. Okay, so I've had some blending time in there. So it just means that as I move this, you can see how the little X moves a little bit slower. It's actually a little bit too long, so we'll just go with like 0.5. Okay, so we have a blend space. What I need to do now is in my top-down mouse character is check out my mesh. We're going to take a look at the Leon animation set, and we're actually going to copy that over to our top-down character here. We're going to go Leon underscore like twin stick, because that's like fairly similar to what this is designed after. And we need to add our new animation styles in. So go to our anim graph movement whilst we're on the ground. It's no longer going to be this blend space. It is now going to be that new blend space that we made here. So we've got two variables, right and forward. So we can plug that in. do actually need to change some of the properties for this because we just want it from -1 to 1. So -1, -1. And this is just going to kill all the animations, and that's fine. 1. Okay. If I regrow that out, does it still have those animations in there? It totally does. Let's just go back a few. Can I edit this? Yeah, so let's get these to be -1. I'm just remapping this blend space from -1 to 1 to make my life a little bit easier. So bear with me while I do that. Just going to click these. It's going to be -1, 1. This one is 0, 1. In fact, it's going to be quicker to just delete all these. Okay, 1, 1, 1. Cool. Okay, let's get the idle back in. There's the idle. I'm holding shift while I'm doing this so that it snaps. Okay, back left, back right, forward left, forward right, backward, forward, left, right. Okay, save that. Come back in here. Cool. Now, when we're 0, we're doing nothing. We can go left. Interesting, it looks like the same animation. I might have messed something up. Oh no, he is moving to the right then. He's moving to the left then. Cool. Yep. So now we just need to set those variables. So one of the things is we can do calculate direction. Gives us this is usually good for feeding directional blend spaces, usually good for that. However, I seem to not have the exact thing I need, so I'm going to use dot products. We're going to take, I'm just going to quickly code this up. So we're going to take the character's velocity, and we're just going to normalize that into essentially a direction. We're going to take a direction to the player's mouse position. Probably manage this from the character in an actual production, but it's okay. So we get this location. We want to get the, essentially we want to get the direction to that, so we're going to get the actor location. We're going to get the direction, the unit vector direction to this location. And then we're going to dot product something in here. I mean, at least these are all the pieces of information that I actually need. Have a think for a second. So where are we at with this? We need to set right and forward. Forward is based on the dot product of our movement direction towards the location where our mouse is. So that's that. Pretty sure that's that. Let's plug it in. I need to change the animation that this guy's using. So it's playing the back animation. I believe it's playing the back animation. It's hard to tell. The easiest way to tell would be to watch this property. Yep, so 1, -1. He does move a little bit too fast, so what I'll do is move his walk speed down. So we'll go like 150. Feels a little bit better. Just like walking around. Okay, now for the up and down, that's where I need to think a little bit more. So are we strafing? The condition for strafing is whether we're moving to the right of the direction. There's like some cross product in there possibly. So I could say put the right vector of this actor, the direction it's facing. And if the velocity's dot product is towards your right vector, that would be your right. Is that right? Might be. Yeah, I think that's it. We're not quite hitting the bottom right of our animation blend space, unfortunately. So if you put these like this, it might be a little bit more representative. Yeah. It's not perfect though, so we need to do the math a little bit differently. It's not great. So what we could do is we could say select. This is like gets to be ugly math, I suppose, but we're basically going to clamp these values. I suppose what you could do, you could just multiply this by 100 and then clamp it. Between -1 and 1. We'll do the same to this number. So it's like, yeah, you can't be that doesn't work either, because while the character is turning towards the mouse location, it kind of breaks the input. Okay. Is there a magnitude? No. That's a unity term for magnitude. To length. No. I'll take the absolute. And if that is more than 0.25, I'm going to do some math where essentially I determine if the value is beyond a certain range, then we'll multiply and clamp it. Otherwise it'll be 0, because we're neither moving forward nor backwards according to that logic. Let's try that. Yeah. So now we're moving in one of those directions at all times. So now what I would like to do is reproduce this animation for running. I think it was called jogging, possibly. So if I go back to the big locomotion pack, go to animations, unarmed, jog. Let's go and retarget these animations. We'll just take unarmed underscore jog. Take those. And we'll also just want the ones that have the word loop. We'll take all of those. Leon D10. Export that. Retarget Leon. We'll replace anim with base underscore Leon. Save that. I'll just press Control Shift S every now and then. Saves a little bit of annoyance. Okay, so I'm just going to delete everything out of here. Jog. I've probably crashed the engine because I accidentally pulled in the blend space into this blend space, which essentially created an infinite loop. You'd hope that the engine realized that you tried to pull a blend space into a blend space, which is obviously an illegal action. So I'm just going to hold my fingers crossed. Give it 2 seconds. Yeah. Okay, so we'll just reopen that. I should probably have sent a report and told them what I did, but I'm sure they have it as a report. I can't be the only person that's accidentally done that. Famous last words. Still got all our animations, still got our jog here. And we're at the point where we removed everything, so not much lost. Okay, right loop. It double clicked. That's annoying. Left, forward, backward, forward, right, left, backward, right, backward, left. Okay. So that's cool. And in our character, or rather in our animation blueprint, what we had from before was this movement that says on ground, and what we can do is blend by tool, and we can ask if this speed is more than 300, then we're sprinting. Or jogging, it's called in this case. Go with sprint, and also we'll call it sprinting. Go back here, check out our sprinting. Get new blend space in here. And actually what we could do is we could put a selector off of here. Wonder if that would work. Let's do this as a pin. See if we can do this as a pin. Expose as a pin. Can we do a selector in here? We can do a selector. Currently this is a fast path. We're about to find out if that breaks. Walk, jog, sprinting, straight in there. Selector seems to break that, so let's not do that as a pin. We spoke about fast paths in a previous video. Essentially it's just animation optimization to keep it more predictive, I guess, take up less memory, not call things on tick a bunch, stuff like that. So we'll do this. Get our fast paths back all over the place, so that's awesome. And then when we hit play, we can walk, and then something's up there, obviously. Oh, no, the wrong way around. Jog. Am I sprinting by default? I am sprinting by default. Walk, sprint. We can sprint in different directions. It's pretty cool. Again, always subject to your animation packs, but pretty cool stuff. Get some conflicts going on here about whether we're sprinting or not. I guess it's because we're moving diagonally. Let's make this condition a little bit worse. Or a little bit stronger, I should say. That move speed is way too fast for that job. Let's play with that. Not keen on the speed at which that moves at. I know that we moved the walk speed down to this, so let's come in here, just ease it on 500. That feels a little bit nicer. Yeah, so not working great there. I'm actually going to cast this to our horse character. Nope. So that I know exactly when we're pressing the button. It's not great though, because it doesn't work in a multiplayer scenario. I do like to write my stuff in an authoritative sense. want to print the value of this sprint boolean with key sprint, so it can stay on screen all the time, but it'll only be one of them. There's a game I really liked that has a movement style like this. It's like a cyberpunk themed game, The Ascent. Yeah. So this animation pack actually has weapons as well, so we could always add weapons to this in the future if people are interested in comment. But I'm just going to keep smashing out different videos, and that's the end of that one. Cheers.